Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa. Just did this split. Oh, this is good. Temperance and the Ten of Cups. So this is a card of alchemy, and it's a card of manifestation, and it's a card of balancing emotions, and this is a card of ultimate fulfillment and happiness, happy family, abundance, stability. So that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. I'm gonna pull some cards to get some overall energy for the reading, but yeah, there's been okay. There's been a lot of drama, maybe so much that's kind of being released. Oh my gosh. This is when I'm saying that. At the bottom we have the devil. So this is like toxicity. We have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is like someone who's like stable, financially stable, abundant. They've got their stuff going on, but there's this super toxic energy around this person. Oh my gosh, and then we have the Empress. So it's like, this is sort of like the minor arcana version of the Empress. And then we have the Empress. So it's like, it's almost like she's kind of like being elevated after having gone through all this stuff. And this has been coming up, and it was in the reading that I just did, but this energy's been coming up a bunch lately, and it's like push through. So it's almost like this person is being elevated to Empress status, but there's a lot of toxic energy around her. You know, maybe not everyone's as so happy about it. We have the High Priestess, and we have the Page of Cups. It was facing like this way. So there's like this offering, this good news or this love that's coming to this person who's really tapped in. However, there is this really toxic energy around. So let's see if we can get some more clarity about what's going on, because it seems like that there's like good stuff coming to this person, but there's a lot of toxic energy around. So I mean, the thing that I'm kind of getting right off the bat is like that maybe there's some jealousy about it, or you know, not everyone's happy about it. This person might have someone around that doesn't like them. Oh my gosh, this just came out in the last reading too. And actually that kind of gives everything a lot more context. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck we have the Curse. There was a reading that I just did recently that I'm going to link called Healing a Generational Curse or something like this. And this kind of this explains a lot. Because this will like lead to toxic energy, but at its foundation, it's sort of like the basis of it is a distortion where like somebody is not necessarily seeing reality for what it is. So this example that I keep relating everything to, because I think it's really prominent in the energy of the world right now, is the sort of situation of Ukraine. And like, you know, in Vladimir Putin's mind, he has this idea in his mind about what's happening on the ground, but it's not really in alignment with like the reality that's happening. And he's like not really seeing things as they are, because there's a distortion, you know, in the way that he's seeing things. And so it's like this curse on humanity, you know. But that's kind of the foundation for this. This is at the bottom of both decks, you know. But whatever the situation is changing. So the Wind is a card of change, and it's a card of having the courage to face the wind and to face the truth and to face whatever within yourself, i.e. distortions, need to change in order to like adapt and evolve with the change. And then we have the eagle, and then there's like this came out in a reading that I just did called Staying Above the Fray, and like I feel like that's the message that's coming here. It's just sort of like there's this huge freaking toxic sludge around, and like maybe it's being confronted with change, you know. So like, for example, like Vladimir Putin like unleashed all this evil onto Ukraine, and so now they're starting to show the evidence on TV of like all the civilians that have been shot and the war crimes, and it's like indisputable. Like there's no way to explain your way out of it. I mean, it's just the truth, you know. So this curse is being confronted, you know, by the community. And it's causing a whole lot of drama. And so this is a card of like staying above the fray. Like, it's good advice. But there's a whole reading about that called Staying Above the Fray. So I think I already linked that. But yeah, you might want to check that out. Because this really looks like a really toxic, really dramatic moment that you probably don't want to engage if you don't have to. Okay. Yeah. We got 8 of Cups like walking away. But I'm doing the Intuitive Goddess Night Tarot. Oh my gosh. And we'll see what else we get. But yeah, this definitely looks like a super, super dramatic moment. And people do not like to be confronted with reality when they're like not in alignment with it, you know? It's like there was another reading that I did that was like, you can't handle the truth. I'll link that here. I think it was called The Path of Least Resistance or something. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. This is a card of like boundaries, like, and we have underneath it the 8 of Swords. So it's like there's all this fear and anxiety. There's a lot of toxic stuff, and you're just like, oh, like I don't want to get sucked into this. You have to have really clear boundaries because you don't want to get sucked into it. There's like nothing good that's going to come of it, you know. Yeah, I mean, like Vladimir Putin is going to have to face, he's going to have to take responsibility for his actions in some form or another, you know. And so it's just like, I'm sure that there's going to be a big effort to like throw weight around and like avoid consequence, but you know, it's out there. It's like on TV, like you can't really avoid it. So anyways, we want to draw boundaries and we want to walk away from this situation towards, this person is walking towards freedom. Which I have a whole thread about freedom because that's like, I'm going to link it up here. That's like a theme that's been coming up too, but this is actually the Chariot in the normal deck. So it's a card of like integrating the light and the dark and being the master of your emotions so that you're not really driven off the rails in either direction. When you can control your reaction to things and control your emotions, then you can control your destiny. And so like that's kind of what this is speaking to. It's like this is super toxic, like nothing good is going to come of it. I mean, you don't want to have your emotions hijacked into being like fuel for this, you know. It's like there's nothing that can be done about spilled milk. Like 3 of these cups have spilled out, but you can't bring them back. Like it's already happened. Like we can't bring back the dead, you know. all that we can do is to focus on the positive, the 2 cups that are remaining, and move forward. Because yeah, something that is hidden is coming to light. And it looks like when it does, like there's going to be all this toxic energy being released. And like I was watching the news yesterday, and they had like I think it was the foreign minister of Ukraine, and you know, everyone's talking about Bucha and like all the dead bodies and all the torture and everything that was left behind. But like the foreign minister of Ukraine was like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, we haven't even gotten to Mariupol yet. Like, they can't even get in there, you know, and that's where it's really bad. So, yeah, it's best to stay out of the way. Like, karma is going to be assigned to the parties, and I mean, you don't want to interfere with that, you know. We got, at the bottom of this deck, we got the Chariot again. So again, like, we're seizing the reins on the situation, and like, there's gonna be accountability for what has been done that's wrong. We have the Star, so this is a card of healing, and it's a card of being recognized. And we have the Knight of Pentacles, so like moving forward. And we have a card of victory. So it's like the people of Ukraine, I think, are being recognized for their valor and for how they've stood up and how they've handled themselves and conducted themselves. And like, they're being recognized worldwide, you know, and this is allowing the situation to move forward. And they're ultimately going to be victorious, you know. So it's best to just stay out of the fray of all the toxicity that looks like it's going to be released, because it's kind of inevitable. But it's like victory happens in slow motion, you know. So like, when all the toxicity is being released, it like might not look like it, you know. So yeah, and these readings happen in slow motion too, because it's like been like, okay, oh my gosh. So we got power. So yeah, like the people of Ukraine are being empowered. And there was a reading that I did, because this is the feminine energy, about the divine feminine energy being empowered, which I'm going to link here. And we have realization, which is interesting because there's like this keyhole, and we see this brighter future on the other side of it. So it's like we've got the key to unlock the door into this new, it's like a light bulb moment where we suddenly see like, oh, I finally can see how I need to move forward now. And we have creation, just sort of like this new beginning that's unfolding. So I think in order to create that opening, we have to release this energy that's been blocking us from moving forward. So it might not look like it in this moment of release, but like, just don't focus on that, and just like, I think, spend the time on yourself and meditating and manifesting for how you're going to move forward on the other side of this, because inevitably this isn't going to last, you know. But it's definitely very prominent in the energy right now. So take care of yourself, and I'm rooting for you, and we'll check back soon with more messages.